talk about so many words and so many phrases in English language, but what we forget to talk about is the most common phrases that we use in daily communication every day. And this is what today's lesson is about. Hi everyone, my name is Hridhaan and I welcome each one of you with a very big heart on Let's Talk. In today's lesson, I bring to you 15 of the most interesting phrases that I use. Yes, you heard that right. Hridhaan uses in his daily communication every day. Let's get started with phrase number one. Phrase number one that I have for you is sell like hotcakes. Everybody knows what is sell, something that is out there to be transacted with money. You give money, you get it. Cakes is a sweet confectionery. Sell like hotcake means something that sells very fast. For example, there's one brand, let's say, and it wants to sell one of its products, and the audience really likes it, and so it is sold like hotcakes. For example, the new model of the Hyundai car is selling like hotcakes. Hyundai has recently launched one of its most interesting cars, and it now is selling like hotcakes. The audience, the people in the market really liked the car, and they're actually buying it very quickly. The next phrase is work against the clock. Work against the clock is a very interesting phrase that talks about working in hurry to do any task that you have in a lot of hurry. For example, with half the syllabus left, I worked against the clock to be ready for the exam on Monday. That means I did not finish the syllabus and there was half of the syllabus that was left, and I worked against the clock. That means I hurried working towards the completion of the syllabus before the exam approaches, which is on Monday. So this is work against the clock. Come on, let's now look at the next one. The next one is left out in the cold. Left out in the cold actually means to be ignored. Yes, there are so many situations and times in life when we feel ignored. Left out in the cold is one such phrase that you can use to say, please do not ignore me. Please do not leave me out in the cold. For example, I felt left out in the cold when they didn't invite me for the family dinner. Because people thought that you were busy or for any other reason. They did not invite you and you ended up feeling ignored. And so you say, I felt left out in the cold. I felt left out in the cold. I felt ignored. Let's now move to the next phrase of daily communication, and that is cut corners. This is one situation that a lot of students struggle with and a lot of adults as well at times, and that is to save money. It is related to money. It means to save money. Cut corners is when you want to save money. For example, I am not eating out much this month as I'm trying to cut corners on my expenses. And it means that you're somebody who's trying your level best to save money by not spending too much of it in restaurants or Starbucks or cafe coffee day, etc. This was about cut corners, to save money. Let's now move to the next phrase of daily communication, jump the gun. This is one of the problems of a lot of people, and especially people who are always excited about things. It means to do something too soon. It means to do something very quickly, and not just by speed, actually before the time is required, before the required time. For example, I jumped the gun before the teacher finished the question and was scolded for that. Has it happened to you when the teacher is still asking a question and you end up answering the question? Well, sometimes a frustrated teacher might as well get a little bit more irritated on that, and the teacher might as well end up scolding you. So make sure that you do not jump the gun. That means to do something before it is required. That is to jump the gun. The next phrase is move heaven and earth. This is one of my most favorite phrases that we have here. It means to make a lot of efforts. For example, have you done something recently and moved heaven and earth with a lot of effort? Have you done something with a lot of effort? That means you have moved heaven and earth. For example, I'll move heaven and earth to finish my project before Sunday. Let's now move to the next one, and that is cry for the moon. Well, I just want to ask you one very important question. Imagine if you cry for the moon. Can your parents still get it for you? Well, that's what it means, to cry for something which is impossible to get. For example, make demands that can't be fulfilled is what it means. Example time. You want a Bentley on your birthday. You're crying for the moon. So here it is, birthday. Let's write it for you. So, you're crying for a Bentley on your birthday, and Bentley is worth, oh my God, very, very expensive. Can you get it? Well, you possibly can, but possibly your parents are saying, not in the present moment, because you're a kid and we can't get it for you. So you are crying for the moon. Have you recently cried for a moon? That means you demanded something that was impossible to get. Please do let me know in the comment section below. The next phrase that we have is under your nose. Imagine if something happens under your nose. What is that? Something that happens right in front of you. But can you see what is there? Can you see the upper lip? Only if you actually take your lip up, but you really can't see it. That's what it means. To witness something happening right in front of you, but you didn't realize that it actually happened. For example, do something openly, although unnoticed. Either you do it or something happens to you. For example, my phone was stolen from right under my nose. That means my phone was on the table. I was at the restaurant, imagine, and it was actually stolen right under my nose. I did not even notice it, and it just got stolen. So something that happens right in front of you, but you can't notice it, that is right under the nose. Save your skin. What is save your skin? It means save yourself without thinking of what happens to others. Quite a selfish way of speaking. For example, the students were in dire need of a good teacher to help them finish the syllabus on time to save their skin. That means there was a lot of syllabus left, and one of the teachers just left the school for some personal commitments, and the students were in dire need. What is the meaning of dire need? Extremely urgent need of a new teacher to save their skin. For example, if there's no one to complete the syllabus, what will happen? They will lose out on the exam or marks, or possibly can as well fail the exam. So it is save their skin. That means to protect themselves from any harm, and the harm in this situation is basically failing the exam. This was about save your skin. The next phrase that we have is no strings attached, NSA. No, this is not what you are thinking. It has a very specific meaning. It means free of conditions. That means there are no conditions to it, and you can use it in any context possible. For example, it means one of the sentences that we can use this in is, I wanted a lot of money from my parents for the concert with no strings attached. A lot of times when parents lend money to their children, they have conditions to it. For example, they say no money after this much for the rest of the month. So that is one of the conditions. So the person, this child, is saying that I want money from my parents with no strings attached for the concert that is coming up. Let's say Justin Bieber's or Ed Sheeran's or Taylor Swift's, and that's got to be no strings attached. That means there's got to be no condition to that. This was about NSA, no strings attached. Let's now move to the next one, set in stone. Something that is set in stone is very difficult to change. For example, the schedule isn't set in stone. That means the schedule, that is the timetable for something that there is not set in stone, is not something that very difficult to change. It's not something that you can not change, but we'd like to stick to it closely. Have there been plans in your life that are set in stone, such as your flight to New York? It is set in stone unless it's a refundable flight and you'd like to change it. So something that can't be changed. Something that is set in stone can't be changed. So something that has happened into your life which can't be changed, a plan or a schedule or a decision, etc. Let's now move to the next one, and that is go on record. It is not record, it is record. Go on record means say something publicly and officially. For example, the teacher went on record to say that she was seeing a student from college. Ooh, hoo, hoo. So something is really naughty that is happening here. There's a teacher, let's say in college, she went on record, she said something publicly, and she confessed that she was actually seeing a student, and the student could possibly of the same age as well. Who knows? Let's say a PhD student for that matter. So something that you say publicly, something that goes on record, is to say something publicly. So that was all about go on record. Let us now move to the next one. The next one is test waters. Very interesting phrase, and it means to check the reaction of people for something not launched yet. Basically, not just launched, anything that you want to check people's reaction on. For example, you better test the waters before you fully commit to that plan. Imagine that you actually have to give your commitment for a new job that one of your friends has come up with for you, an offer. So you're actually testing water to, you better test the water before you finally commit. You basically are trying to understand if you actually end up doing that job, how will that help you or treat you in terms of your family, your personal other commitments that you have, etc. The next one on the list is back the wrong horse. Back the wrong horse means to support the wrong person or decision. For example, in all his years as a student, he really backed the wrong horse. That means for the entire year or duration that I was a student, I never backed or supported a wrong decision or did anything wrong or that was unjustified. This was back the wrong horse. Let's now move to the next one. The next one is bell the cat. This is the last one in the list that we have, and it means to do a risky task. There's a cat. When you bell the cat, it can be a dangerous cat as well. And when you bell, it might as well bite you. So make sure that you do it carefully. For example, who's going to bell the cat and tell mom we wrecked a car? What is wreck the car? It means to destroy it, bumped it into something, and you broke the door. That is to wreck the car. So, who is going to tell mom? Who is going to do this dangerous job of telling mom that the car is wrecked? This was all about all the phrases that I personally use in my daily life when it comes to daily communication. Please use these phrases and help yourself get better at communication. Thank you very much and have a great day ahead.